All right. So today I wanted to cover a really common question I see a lot in places on the forums and like Reddit. People asking what casting is and how casting works. So I'm going to try to keep this as short and sweet as possible. So to start out with, a lot of the confusion with casting comes with the understanding of what blueprints actually are. So take for example, here in the main, I just started a basic template here, just a third person template, and I haven't done anything to it. Um, so when you go to the character blueprint here, right? This is not an individual item. This is a class. So keep that in mind. Your blueprints, while they do physically exist, there is only one of these. This is a class of item. And to demonstrate that, see, I can have more than one out there because this is not an individual item. This is a class of item. All of these characters that I just dropped in here are of the class third person character. So keep that in mind as we're moving forward. Um, oh, I just deleted the floor on accident. That is one of the biggest confusions here. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and go into this third person character blueprint because I want to show you exactly how casting works here. Well, for this example, I'm going to drag this off to the side. Let's go ahead and drag another third person character out here and save that. Bring our window back. So there's two characters in the world. They are basically of the same class. So we know that they're of the class third person character. So in here, let's say we were making a multiplayer combat game and we just threw something at this other person and we wanted to get information from whatever we hit, right? So we're going to cast to this third person character here. So typically what you see a lot of people do is they do cast to third person character right here. And they get stuck here because they don't know what this object is. So remember when I told you that blueprints are just classes of items. Think of it like an actual school where you have a classroom full of kids, right? So this is the classroom. You need to tell this room which kid specifically you're trying to talk to. And in this case, I have a trace set up right here. Whenever I click the left mouse button, it's going to trace out and return me the actor that I hit. So I'm going to go ahead and do a print string here just to help further demonstrate this. I'm going to drag this casting node out. So I'm going to drag this hit actor up here, and it's going to print me the name of whatever this trace hits. So if I click play here, so whenever I left click, you see it's ray tracing, and up in the upper left hand corner, it's returning the name of whatever that trace hits. So I'm going to go over here and make sure this hits. So third person character 2. Bam. So we can see that I'm hitting him. Now I know, as you know, a game developer, I need to cast to him to either get information or send information or do anything I want with that actor that I have just hit with my trace here. So what I'm going to do generally, and this is where again where a lot of people get stuck, they try to cast to him, but see, this is failing. They don't know what goes in the object. Like I said, this is the classroom, and you need to tell this class which student you want to talk to. And in this case, it's the actor we hit. This is the student, and this is the classroom. You're basically telling through code, or in this case, blueprints, who specifically you want to talk to. And coding is kind of backwards. You don't start with the class. In coding, you start with the actual item and then the class, and then you can pull information from it. So here's the class, and here's the student. And now this is going to be true for whatever you're casting to. In this case, let's say, let's go up here. Let's create a variable and call it, we'll just say text here. We'll make this a text and we'll do ASDF. It doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do is do a custom event here just to test things. We're going to call it hit. So when this is hit, what we're going to do is print. I didn't need to make a text node. You know what? Let's just go ahead and delete that. See, that's the wonders of doing this live. So we're just going to type something here and say, ow. Oh, I've been hit. So whenever this event is called, it's going to print something to the screen saying, ow, I've been hit. So down here, what we're going to do, see how we've casted to the third person character? We're going to drag off this and say hit. Run the event. Since we've casted to the class, just to explain how it works, so when we open up this blueprint for this character, we have created an event up here called hit, right? So that event, that hit event exists in all of the students of this class. So whenever I drag one out, that hit event exists in every single actor here. So if I'm playing as this one, I can cast to this one and run the hit event. They all have this hit event. They're all of the same class. So in the game right here, what I'm going to do, so I set it up to when if this is a third person character, it's going to print something to the upper left hand side of the screen saying, ow, I've been hit. There we go. That is the short and sweet of how casting works. Thanks for joining me.